Thanks, Silona. Yeah, this thing on? Doesn't matter. Testing, testing?
It
Yep.
doesn't project, it's just going straight to the pointer.
Okay. All right, can you press play? I don't know what happened to the graphic that was there, but anyway. I'm Sean Savage, and I'm here to talk about DIY City. DIYcity.org. You can find out full information about this. Disruption.com is about me. So this is all about upgrading urban life with what we call city hacks. The goal here is to improve city life by upgrading a new sort of urban nervous system through a set of local communities and grassroots tools that information technologies allow us to now have. And to make the city operate more like an organic living thing and less like the Department of Motor Vehicles. So this idea John Garaci came up with in New York City, and we had the first meetings in New York and San Francisco in January. And now we have groups in more than 30 cities, and we've built a number. We already have a few applications that I'll show to you. Okay. Cities before the net were characterized by big structures that were really of necessity given the responsibility and power to control things. And they had to be centralized and top-down and kind of brittle. But then now we can have new tech that allows citizens to take on more responsibilities and have smaller structures in control, decentralized, faster, more adaptive, and more natural, like a living thing. So that's what we're all about, is trying to accelerate and optimize that sort of process through city hacks, which are kind of the atomic bits that form this thing. Tiny, simple improvements that anybody can really take on. And then together they multiply each other's powers, in addition to incrementally improving the cities. So right now we already have several city hacks up and running, which you tonight can go and adapt to your own city. And I'll talk about several of them, which is DIY Traffic, Six City, and Tamale Tracker. 15 seconds. It's a little hard. Okay, so DIY Traffic is all about tracking traffic through the grassroots. It's a universal system that allows you to take in any input data feeds and have output data feeds through Twitter and SMS. And also anybody can query the system about a particular road or highway. Right now we're taking Yahoo traffic feeds and user tweets. It's configured out of the box for that and outgoing through Twitter and SMS. And you can query it through Twitter as well. So you basically get anybody can send information to a particular Twitter user. And then this other Twitter user gives the output, which anybody can subscribe to. Six City is basically somebody had the idea that you could basically track the conversations going on Facebook and on Twitter about common illnesses, the flu, and other things that there might be outbreaks of, colds, chickenpox. And you can see right here, this basically tracks that over time by place. You can go to your city and just see at a glance these little charts showing the frequency over time of certain diseases coming up. And that might help local health authorities as well as just regular people to see before the official estimates come out. Tamale Tracker is all about, in Chicago and in San Francisco, there's the tamale guy and the tamale lady, which are kind of local celebrities. When people are out and about going drinking at night, these people show up kind of randomly from bar to bar, and they will sell tamales. And they're extremely popular in San Francisco in particular. So somebody came up with the idea of, the problem is you don't know where these people are going to show up and when, but why not have a system where anybody can tweet in when there's a tamale lady sighting? And then other people can subscribe to the system and basically see where to go. If you're really hungry for a tamale right now, you can basically go to the tamale tracker, follow this Twitter feed, and see where to go at any given moment, as well as adding into the system. So those are three just little, like I say, little atomic pieces of city hacks. The general philosophy is to have a generalized, centralized tool set for every one of these that can then be taken and customized to local communities, forming all these little petri dishes of it. And then you take the best local mutations that emerge, local improvements, and evolve them back into the central generalized tool set. And soon we're working on bike sharing systems, taxi sharing systems, as well as a crowdsourced bus tracking system for cities that don't have GPS units on their buses, where people can actually use their mobile devices to contribute to the system. And we would love for each of you guys to get involved. If you go to DIYcity.org/project pool, we have a list of ideas. So there's like an input where people come up with ideas. I'd love to see this little thing built in my city. And then later, other people can tackle and actually build out those ideas. We do have some big challenges that we're still working through, is how to get more non-techies involved. Not just like the coders and programmers, but people who are not coders and programmers. And maybe moving beyond just thinking of software to more physical, to taking on other sorts of city hacks. And we're having our first DIY City Codeathon, April 4th to 5th in San Francisco. Silona and I are hosting it at Parasoma Co-working Space in San Francisco. We're looking for other cities who might want to get involved that same weekend. So if you guys in Austin or New York or wherever else, get in touch with me. We'd like to get involved. DIYcity.org will show you everything you want to know about this. And if you go to disruption.com/DIYcity, there's a link-by-link list to everything I talked about in the presentation today, so you can get full information.
Thank you. Ta-da. Yay.